Well, details finally emerged as reported by the BBC as to what's going to happen with the coronation and the attendance or not of Harry and or Meghan or not. And the result is apparently that Prince Harry is going to attend himself without Meghan. And I can't say I'm surprised, because I have to say I think the pair were in a completely no-win situation, with the obvious shift in popularity for both of them. I think they were left in a position whereby if they confirmed that they were both coming, that was likely to be an unpopular decision from what I've read. And if they declined the invitation, obviously that's going to be seen as rude, and it's going to go down very badly with the vast majority, because who would turn down an invitation to the coronation, particularly if you are a member of the royal family? Now, despite many of the polls that I've done saying that a lot of people don't want them or didn't want either of them to attend the coronation, I still think if they had declined the invitation outright, that is going to leave a sour taste to say that they've declined the invitation. And of course, that's not going to look good either. Hence, I think, whatever you think of them, I think they were in a no-win situation. However, this is what we would call a compromise. In any kind of dispute, in any kind of legal mediation compromise situation, which this clearly is, there is clearly a rift. Because after all, this is going to be the first time that Harry will be seen with the royal family since the release of his so-called memoirs. And it's going to be a difficult situation, however you describe this, and whatever demands have or have not been made, and whether they have or have not been acceded to. It's going to be a difficult situation, because as picked up by the BBC article in Prince Harry's book and his Netflix series, they both highlighted worries about negative media coverage, particularly towards Meghan. Now, of course, this whole saga of whether they are coming to the coronation or not has indeed created its own negative media coverage. And as the saying goes, if you look for something, you're probably going to find it. So it would seem that by focusing on negative media coverage, they certainly seem to achieve just that. One thing that is not surprising, of course, as reported by the BBC, which I will link in the description below, is that Prince William, as the Prince of Wales, is going to have a prominent role in this coronation. But, as the BBC also reports, that as a working royal, it does remain to be seen what part, if any, Prince Harry is going to play in the ceremony itself. Of course, we've already had confirmation that only working royals are supposed to be on the Buckingham Palace balcony. So it's unclear really at this stage what, if any, involvement in the coronation ceremony itself Harry is going to have. Maybe it is simply to split the difference, as it were, quite literally, with whether or not they come or not, and Harry coming by himself, so that he actually turns up, but perhaps not have any active role. Of course, no further details of this have been reported from what I can read so far. Only to say that Meghan is not to attend. And of course, again, as reported by the BBC, this looks like it's going to be seen as part of the ongoing, unresolved tensions between both of them and the royal family. And now some people have asked why I'm talking about this at all on a legal channel. Well, it is all to do with the monarchy of this country and the whole organizational structure from literally the top down in terms of hierarchy of the governing and the organization of this country. One thing I will say about this, to be absolutely fair and to coin a phrase, is to allow a step off the stage. As the saying goes, if somebody is in the middle of a difficult performance or a difficult situation, allow them to step off the stage with some sort of humility when a decision has been made, steps have been taken to resolve what is obviously a difficult situation. Very often with clients who are in dispute, whichever side of the dispute you are on, and as a mediator, not just a barrister, I became a mediator because of those disputes, and I like to help resolve those disputes, just like I like to help you understand law on this channel. So if you find this useful, please do remember to subscribe below. But I also like to help people resolve issues as well. I think there's a catchphrase in there for a new channel. But I like to help people resolve issues and disputes between them as well. And one of the things that I always say to both parties of a mediation, whether I'm the mediator or a barrister representing one party at the mediation, is that you must allow the other side the humility to step down from a difficult position. Because otherwise, all we end up doing is posturing in those positions, and both sides in a legal dispute at least, will have spent tens if not hundreds of thousands of pounds on this legal dispute, and very difficult it is to step down from that position, especially if it includes admitting that you're wrong, admitting that what you've done is wrong. And to that degree, I liken and relate the previous video about the Dalai Lama situation, where it is obviously difficult for somebody to admit that something is wrong. The very fact that there was an official apology written and published, at the very least, says that there was something wrong. There was acknowledgement that there was something wrong. But just to finish off that tangent, if anyone's still in any doubt whatsoever, please check out the Body Language Guy's video on this very subject. Explains it in far more detail, particularly the body language. I'll link that in the description below as well, just for good measure. But back to disputes and difficult situations. I always say that parties need to allow each other the humility to step down from a difficult position. So as much as anyone does or does not like Prince Harry and Meghan, the difficulty in this situation can only be diffused if people allow that step off the stage. So one fear that I have is if so many people are unhappy that he might be coming, or either of them may have been coming, that it's going to be received with negativity. And I never condone the negativity in that sense. I always say, regardless of what your thoughts are, try at least, as the saying goes, to allow the step off the stage. And even if you feel that you cannot let go of anger and frustration and contempt, perhaps with the disclosures within the memoirs and the Netflix series and so on, I would urge you to look past those to see this coronation as a break and a step forward. After all, it is the King's coronation, not anybody else's. So as I say, I will link the article in the description below, along with the great video from the Body Language Guy who breaks down that video in great detail. Take a look at both of those. Please do remember to like this video and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching.